What's going on, everybody? So it's been a while since I updated on exactly how my experience has been with the ROG Ally. With all of the new updates that just recently come out, Asus has been doing an incredible job updating the ROG Ally. In fact, they've been doing a surprisingly good job being consistent with their updates for this handheld device. Now, recently has been the biggest update for the ROG Ally, and that is the ability to turn off CPU boost. Now, this is a big deal because they can add upwards to an hour or an hour and a half of battery life to most games. And of course, disabling CPU boost really won't affect the performance overall. But if you want to give yourself that extra bit of security with the performance of the Ally, then you can just enable CPU boost if you're docked or something like that. But most likely, while on battery, CPU boost is just going to be a detriment to your battery life. And I've learned firsthand that disabling CPU boost through the Windows settings and all of those obnoxious switches and codes that you have to put in to disable CPU boost, there is a lot of benefit to disabling this feature. And with the Z1 Extreme, enabling CPU boost is a great thing. So sometimes I switch back and forth, enabling and disabling, but I never put that into my power saver and performance guide videos because that's just too experimental. And I really wanted to wait until Asus addressed it themselves. And not only did they address it, but they actually have a freaking option to disable and enable it with the touch of a button. And I think that's just magnificent. That is the best thing I've ever seen any laptop or handheld PC do, period. Especially a handheld PC that has Windows OS. But surprisingly, the CPU boost option isn't the only upgrade they added. Now there's actual gyro controls implemented into the Ally. And for someone who doesn't really use gyro controls, this isn't really a big update, but I know there's a lot of people that wanted that, especially with games like Doom 2016. For some reason, the aiming in Doom 2016, even if you're going at 120 FPS, just isn't that smooth and it feels a little heavy. It's just the way the game controls, especially in comparison to Doom Eternal. But I feel like I'm going to enjoy Doom 2016 specifically even more with gyro controls enabled. And it's pretty simple. All you need to do is put the control settings to auto, and you'll be able to customize gyro controls with Armory Crate. And besides that, the performance hasn't been touched from the last update. But there's more. There's actually anti-lag, or it's called Radeon anti-lag. And it is as advertised. The description of this option will explain a little further, but pretty much it gets rid of a lot of lag in almost every single game. There is a lot less lag when enabling anti-lag. So it's just a breath of fresh air that they added that option into it. Not only that, but there is Radeon Chill. And this option kind of smooths out the performance while also sometimes decreasing the performance when in low voltage scenarios. And for the most part, that just means that your battery consumption is going to be decreased even further. So it's sort of like the power saver mode in Windows 11, but now officially supported by Asus and AMD. And I know a lot of people that are ROG Ally enthusiasts already know about these updates. And of course, there is Radeon Boost, which kind of smooths out the frame rate at the cost of slightly more battery. It's mostly for people that are just docking the system. It runs it even better with anti-lag and boost enabled, as well as the CPU boost. Those two things are separate options. So yeah, I see those options as additional support if you're docking the ROG Ally like I do all the time. But more than ever, in fact, even more than the Steam Deck, I am playing the ROG Ally handheld because of all of these additional settings added to increase battery life. I find the battery life to be even more impressive than before, even 6 months ago. It's such a big boost in performance and something that I didn't even see with the Steam Deck. Now, of course, in terms of features, there's a plethora of Steam Deck features added every single day or week or month. And for the most part, because I'm pretty simplistic when it comes to performance, those new features usually complicate my time with the Steam Deck, especially if I just want to dock the system. I've been having so many issues docking the Steam Deck. I just put it in a box and I'm probably going to sell it, I'll be honest. And I know the Steam Deck OLED fixes a lot of handheld problems, but it doesn't fix a lot of this docking issues or just being tied and chained to the Steam platform itself. I'll be honest, I never really liked the Steam platform. That has been the main reason why I stopped playing PC games, because there's just all of these constant updates and the whole redistributable updates really ruin my experience a lot of the times. Because if you slip up and it starts downloading another redistributable, then most likely one of your base games that you've played a couple months ago just won't work, or just even a couple days ago if you're on a separate SD card, because Steam Deck more than anything downloads new redistributables. This is something I particularly hate, and I just love the fact that with the ROG Ally you can just play on any platform and it's just native to the device, so you don't need to see all of these redistributables or ridiculous updates to the Steam platform if you don't want to. And for the most part, I don't freaking want to see those things because of all these crazy updates. Steam is just something I'm tied down to. I like just not having a platform and just making my own custom platform, making whatever I want. And with Windows 11, I have been able to do that for years and years. With Steam Deck, I really thought it was going to be a genuine PC and you could just do anything with it. But you actually can't delete certain files and just basic files from desktop mode. It seems like you can't modify SteamOS in any range. But with Windows 11, you can delete and rename whatever the heck you want for the most part. Of course, the base and core of Windows 11 and SteamOS always stay the same, but I feel like Windows 11 can change just in the blink of an eye if you wanted it to. And it has. There's a lot of things that I would want to change, but I really just think the console experience is overrated. It's something that just deters you away from having complete freedom. And it is partly the reason why I moved away from consoles and went to PC handhelds like the ROG Ally. And now more than ever, Asus has been supporting this device to the point that I prefer the ROG Ally over any and all handhelds because I have that absolute freedom. I don't need something to just force me to a console-like menu. The ROG Ally is a PC handheld for people that know what they're doing. It's a handheld for people that are smart and capable when it comes to PC gaming. And I really don't care that it doesn't have a trackpad. I absolutely love the Asus ROG Ally. I think it's incredible. I think it's exactly what I wanted from the Steam Deck, but I didn't get it. And if you were to ask me if I were to pick one, the Steam OLED because it has that fancy OLED screen, or the ROG Ally, I would still pick the ROG Ally because it's 1080p, 120 FPS. I'm sorry, but more is more. Just because the screen is OLED doesn't mean it looks better than a 1080p or that it shows more detail than a 1080p screen. It's still going to be equivalent to the experience that you get on a Nintendo OLED, where you can still tell it's 720p, but the colors look a little more vibrant and the blacks look a little more black. That's great and all, but I wanted them to have a full resolution of 1200p or 1080p, whatever they wanted to upgrade or downgrade to, because I want that extra detail so I can see everything in the game. I want the full experience when it comes to my handheld PCs. And I think gimping on the resolution and saying, oh, it's 800p, but it's OLED now, is sort of still a cop-out when it comes to their actual screen and resolution quality. I want it to be 1080p OLED or 1200p OLED. That would have been perfect. That would have actually made me look at the Steam Deck OLED a little differently, but it's not. So if you were to ask me, would I get one or the other? Of course, I'm still choosing the ROG Ally. Even if the Steam Deck has a better battery, I have power banks. I'm going to use it with the Steam Deck anyway, especially if I need something to last more than 3 hours. If I want the ROG Ally to last 3 to 4 hours, I can just play a large chunk of my library. Forza Horizon 4 and 5 lasts 3 hours in the ROG Ally if I put it to silent mode, and that's 1080p, mostly 60 FPS. And no doubt, there are so many people that just underestimate the ROG Ally, and it's just clear that some people are jealous. Some people, for some reason, just hate on the ROG Ally because it's fun to do it, and for the most part, I do understand the SD card problem, like I say all the time, but I haven't experienced it yet. But if you were to ask me, would I get an ROG Ally again if they move the SD card slot? Yes, I would definitely get an ROG Ally again. And I would straight away replace the internal SSD with a 2TB opposed to a 512 like I still currently have. So yes, for the most part, would I take the opportunity if it's presented to me, if the SD card is in a different place with a new ROG Ally model? Hell yeah. But for now, I think this is the ultimate handheld PC right now. Armory Crate makes everything so smooth. For the most part, of course, there are a few hitches here and there, and everything in Armory Crate is just so simple and fluid. I love taking screenshots, and of course, if you are in low TDP, taking screenshots can be a little sketchy, I'll be honest. They do need to fix a small number of things with the ROG Ally. Like taking screenshots and the whole screenshot lag with low TDP is a bit of an issue because sometimes it does freeze for like 10 seconds, which is insane to me. And of course, the Steam Deck does have the more fluid operating system and software, but there are less things that work for the Steam Deck and there are a lot more hurdles that you'll have to go through to just to play something on your Steam Deck and that 800p screen. But for the most part, with what the ROG Ally presents and offers to the player and their customers, I think it's more than worth it, especially at the current price. But that is a big investment to go through if you want to get one or the other. Most people might just pick a Steam Deck, paying $400 with good software. You know it's going to work for certain titles. And I can see why a lot of people will get it, but I can't deny how powerful and capable the ROG Ally is and how amazing that 1080p screen looks all the time. I'm just so happy that Asus is consistently supporting this handheld. It's just amazing. But yeah, what do you think about the ROG Ally so far? It's been 6 months officially. And with the Steam Deck OLED, the competition is heating up, no doubt. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a good one. Later.